Speaking of things that are not horrible, we got requests from Ricky.
Never horrible.
He always brings the goods, and it's
The,
always the Mexican style with these
yeah, yeah.
crazy stories and fun songs.
It's Four Corner Room, and it's with War. Now, War. Everybody and their mother or whatever know who War is because they were low rider. Now you're getting high or whatever that. You remember the Low Rider song
Yeah,
from
I
the old
remember
days?
that.
That's War, amongst other hits. So they have released. They made this. Okay, they made a song called Four Cornered Room with the ED added on. Four
Yes.
Cornered Room in 1972 on an album called The World is a Ghetto. This album, The World is a Ghetto, was the number one album in 1973. Sold more records than anything else. And, and,
Wow.
and on that album was their original song called Four Cornered Room. And Lil Rob now has, much later on, done Four Corner Room, dropping the ED, but bringing War in with him to do, I assume, all the music and maybe some vocals. I don't know.
But one thing to note is that this is the track that Ricky said was part one of two,
That's
correct?
right. Ricky, Little Rob, featuring War, companion piece, 1 week following. Part one. Four Corner Room. Beautiful, soft start. Oh, Ricky.
As
Oh
I
my
sit
goodness.
in my four-cornered room, ain't got no room for nobody else, just for myself. I'm tripping now. I haven't seen daylight for days. What's today anyway? Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. Seems like time's going backwards, like an hourglass going in reverse. I'm bouncing off walls like rubber balls. And in my mind, dreams, nightmares, and waterfalls. Mary Jane calls my name. Take me away. As I float over my body, I look at myself. That can't be me. There's no way. How could this happen to such a man with such a plan? Just when you think you're on top of the world and nothing can bring you down, believe me, homeboy, something always can. Seems like I'm sinking in quicksand with nobody to lend a helping hand. But I trust no hand to help me. Even though I've helped many, they couldn't do shit without me. Hard work and no play makes Little Rob a dull boy. How could you live your life this way? Get up! But the pain won't let up, the voices in my head won't shut up. I fill up and set up. I can't even pick my head up. I sit, catatonic, explode like atomic. People think I'm on the shit, but I'm not on it. Hold up on it. Was to live a simple life, but now I live this crippled life. Had the right.
I like that. I like that rhyming scheme there, catatonic, and then sitting on it, and like I don't know, for some reason I like it whenever they can figure out how to rhyme larger words with these smaller, similar
Yes. Yeah,
rhymes.
I'm big into that too. Big
Man,
multiple
chill.
syllables with like little syllables. Like,
Yeah,
I
chill
love that.
track. My question is what is your take on the backing track? Because I mean, they got those acoustic guitar harmonics, and that's definitely a '70s thing. You know what I mean? Like so
I'm
many
thinking,
songs that I've heard from back then had that, and then there's that, like the, well, what are they playing? Oh, harmonica with the.
I
You
don't
think this is a
really.
live orchestration or live band, or you think this is a sample? What's going on?
No, that's a live band. Um,
War.
I, yeah, I wish I was more familiar with the Four Cornered Room off that album, the War's original version. I love the
I mean,
little bass. It's so soft. It's a little bit of a shoehorn, okay? He's a little bit of a shoehorn where taking the respect of the original music and trying to keep it, and yet find his rapping pattern, if you will, inside of it. I think he's
okay.
being like trying to keep his love and respect for the original music. I got to hear more of this.
All right, let's hear more.
All right.
Got my mind boggled, cause now I look at my future through foggy goggles. My room's getting smaller, and I'm getting taller. Our Father who art in heaven, I trust you with everything about my vida, but I don't trust the reverend. Trust no man, trust no girl. Turn something straight into a curl. Collection of bad thoughts drives my brain insane, leave me with heartaches and migraines. My veins are black and blue, my eyes are bloodshot red. I'm halfway to dead, I'm half alive. I'm lost in the middle, trying to figure out a riddle that cannot be solved as the world revolves. How did I get myself involved? Sitting in the darkness, slipping into darkness. How did I start this? Time to depart this. As I sit in my four-cornered room, ain't got no room for nobody else. For nobody else, just for myself.
That's war. It's just gorgeous right there, but so there's, as Lil Rob's going, he's doubling the voice, the vocal.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't know, he's not trying to match himself either. It's not like
Right.
just, so
He's not trying to harmonize, yeah.
right. So, and that's an effect that, I could question, quite frankly. I could question
Okay.
that. But I definitely see that they're just keeping the war music.
Was War like really into that sort of like you hear a bit of like I guess Chinese motifs in there? Is that kind of like a thing that they were about?
Well, they were like the ultimate Mexican band.
Okay.
They were ultimate, like Lowrider and all those stuff was like so South LA kind of thing. And,
Okay.
I mean, they owned that whole vibe and sound through the 70s. They were the go-to Mexican rock band kind of thing, along with like Santana or something like that.
Oh, right on.
So they were huge like that. So I think those influences might be very similar. Like you were saying, with some of the Chinese sound of. I think they
Right.
could be similar, but I think it's more Mexican than anything. It's
Okay, got it.
gonna come back. So I could listen to that all day.
That's cool.
Yeah. This is what I talk about when I say I'm a rock and roll guy. I had these records, and I just this is what I searched for years and years and years. This stuff.
And here
In
you
part.
go. You were gonna find it in hip hop.
Found it in hip hop. Yeah.
Found it in hip hop.
I
The
have
search is
I
over.
have multiple war records. Oddly enough, without having this record.
Interesting. And like this is kind of how War sounds, huh? And so, oh, Rob.
It is a
huh?
slower song for.
Oh yeah, that goes without saying.
It's a slower song for them too, But yeah, that's how they sound. They're extremely talented musicians that harmonize and have a very good, distinguished lead singer, vocal.
Yeah.
And then they did have guests. Like I said, they were Eric Burden and War did multiple giant tracks and for a long,
Okay.
long time. And then to see Lil Rob do something with them, it's not surprising because they seem like a band that would want to do stuff with a vocalist. And then, but then Lil Rob, of course, is going to do his emceeing over it.
Mm-hmm. It's a contemplative, interesting track. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes I like that a lot, and sometimes I want to move and shake, and sometimes like there's always a mood that's like a mood track, you know, if I'm
It's
like I'm chilling out with my friends and we just talking, that's that's what that's perfect for that. Like a good little beer. Some people do other things. Uh, Marijuana's, I think, is
coke.
talking about there and there. Yeah,
It's not a
you
good
know.
cocaine song though, so
I
you would probably have
honestly,
trouble with it.
I don't have experience with this. By the way, in case the FBI is watching.
I have a couple
Oh, okay.
times. It was
Yeah, I've never
fantastic.
actually done it. Like
Don't do it.
seriously.
I
Right.
did it. I did a couple times.
Yeah. So,
Well,
yeah, dude, that's
we've
cool.
never gone so quiet on a track we've covered. I don't think that was the most. So it kind of threw me in that regard. So it's a definite, what a terrible reaction. But my reaction is, I need to hear it again. you know, that's like so terrible. I love the music to death. I was not 100% certain about the double voice on Lil Rob.
Oh,
I
I
didn't
loved it.
like. Okay, you.
Like that's just me. I loved it. I
That's
thought that
good.
was the coolest ending for this track ever. Like it just went from there and shifted gears. I'm like, it's like one of those things. Even if I wasn't, I enjoyed it, you know. But I think like I love tracks and music that has a good payoff at the end. Like, all right, you made me listen to you for a minute or 2 minutes, and that last minute is a payoff, and that to me is awesome when that
Payoff
happens.
is always awesome. Just for note, this payoff was a song from 1973. Bingo. So you do love rock and roll. So yes, got Dave in the rock
Yes,
and roll house. Uh,
I feel informed. With that said, I think we gotta wrap on
yeah,
this.
we're done.